evening, everybody. I am attempting to record this, so hopefully it will work. Tonight is week 3 of Intro to Mac. And just a little brief overview of what we've been doing. We've been going over the system preferences and how to customize your Mac so that it does exactly what you want it to and not what it wants it to do, such as using your trackpad for a right click, moving your dock from bottom of the screen to the left or the right, and a whole bunch of other different stuff. We've also gone over web browsers, the dangers of MacKeeper and how to remove it. We've gone over malware, adware, and antivirus, and we've visited a few websites that are available for free adware antivirus removal. We've talked about using more than one browser at a time, and we've talked about security, creating passwords for your computer so that nobody but you is using your computer. We've talked about cleaning your web browser history in case anything starts going wrong. Give me just a second. I have a student texting me, and I will be right back. Okay, so again, your browsing history, it's a good idea to clean it out every so often, especially if you've been visiting a lot of places that have information on them that are personal and private, maybe you don't want others to see, or if it's one of those that's been collecting the adware. So we talked about AVG, and we talked about what's the best defense for your Mac, which is avoidance if at all possible. So the same with malware. If you don't know where it came from, don't open it, especially if it comes in your email. We've gone over a little bit of Spotlight, and I will demonstrate a little bit of how that works. So I'm going to share my screen. And if you guys can see it, I hope this is working because I'm trying to record it on another computer. So if you're hearing two of me, I've locked the other computer in the bathroom, and it may be making me duplicate my voice. Seriously. My evil twin may be heard on this. So if the recording comes out good, I'll be posting it later. Okay, so we see my screen, and up here we have this little dot, and it looks like a magnifying glass, and it's called Spotlight Search. You also have this in Finder, and you can tell it to find a specific file. So I want to find a file with a picture on it called Wonder Woman. And it's trying to tell me I want to check which program I want it to do. So I can check Wikipedia. which is kind of cool. Gives me a link directly to it. I have a file called Wonder Woman. I'm not sure why, but we'll open it up and find out. Oh, yes, it's the Wonder Woman movie from 2009. So I can go back up to my Spotlight search, and I can keep looking down here. I have chats that it's shown that apparently I've discussed with my sister about. Yeah. Talking about a logo, and she wanted Wonder Woman, and I kept telling her, DC kind of has copyright on it. What else can we do? Let's look again. Wonder Woman. So, and now, oh, I can look in my Google Drive under images. And there's an image from a t-shirt I ordered. See? You get some great stuff from tfury.com. And if you're wondering why I'm being quiet, it's because I can hear my voice coming from the bathroom where I locked up my evil twin, who on this screen looks like the name of TV. And there's screensaver desktop, there's the movie. Ooh, DC Comics, I can look under the web. And in order to do that, I just have to double click. Oh, I don't want to do it in Safari. Let's try this one, see what happens. It gives me the show summary with the episode guide. Tells me when they were first aired. And it looks like you can get all of the episodes from this one spot, which is very interesting because I have been looking all over for that because I actually wanted to watch them. We'll be saving that. Hi, Latanya. I'm so glad I'm not speaking to myself. You'll notice that this PC person that's away, that's actually my alter ego. And I'm trying to record the session. So the Mac is locked in the bathroom, and I'm actually hearing myself talk through the door, so it's kind of weird. It's a little delayed. So I was just doing a brief overview of what we have been doing in the past few weeks. How's your week been? Good? Did I cover Spotlight Search very well with you guys? Okay, well, we'll go back to sharing my screen, and we'll go over that. It's actually a lot of fun. So it's this little magnifying glass up here. And if I were to delete everything, this is the really cool part. So I'm going to type in Wonder Woman. And it gives me everything from my emails to a Wikipedia link. Gives me my documents, which is actually the Wonder Woman movie, animated movie from 2009. Gives me all the documents on my computer, any messages. Gives me a picture for a t-shirt I bought. I love that t-shirt. And the best part is I can go down here and I can double click on these links and it takes me directly to it. Is that not awesome? Could come in handy for homework So the PowerPoint, can we do anything? Did you need information on the PowerPoint for class? You wanted to know about inserting pictures, right? Well, I can bring up the PowerPoint that we're working on this week, and I'm going to go just right-click on it and tell it I want a new slide. And if I tell it I want to pick a picture here, I get the spinning wheel of death. But I have mine set up so that it goes directly where I want it. Depending on if you're using this piece up here, insert picture or clip art, and you choose photo browser, what about the assignment?
So we had, I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk because I knew you were recording. We had two assignments. One of them was like a personal PowerPoint presentation. So like, can we like freestyle on that presentation because it wasn't like any full direction. It was just like make a PowerPoint depicting something that you do every day.
You get to use your pictures if you want to. You can use clip art. You can, but the thing is, you have to stick with a theme.
Because I know it had said that we can use a theme or start from scratch.
You can start from scratch, but you have to be creating a theme from scratch.
Okay.
So it's got to be consistent and it's got to look professional. That's the whole.
So like the colors, we can play with the colors.
Oh yeah, it's. If I want, I know we use the angles, but I can go in here.
I see that one.
And you can change the fonts, you can change the colors.
Okay.
So, you've got a lot of room to play around with it in there. And you can even go to Maptopia.com and download some new ones if you so choose to. So it's not that you're required to use them, but they don't change as easily as they do on some of these. As long as they're consistent and they meet the criteria for, not making your instructor nauseous, you're good to go.
Okay. So, I know like I was like thinking of doing my PowerPoint on like I guess the process I go through baking my pie. So like I guess I could step by. I know like you do it like step by step, and then I don't know like the ingredients. Should I add the ingredients like as a slide or something? Would that be acceptable?
Can you repeat that, please?
So like if I was to do the PowerPoint on how I bake my pie. I was doing, because I do my pies from scratch. I don't do, like, some people buy the chicken and stuff, but I'm already making it with different stuff. So I was still buy the recipe from scratch. And then, like, should I include the ingredients that I'm using, or just, like, the step-by-step process of peeling the potatoes, boiling the sweet potatoes, straining the sweet potatoes?
Okay, be very careful with it when you're using a complicated project because it's going to add more slides to it, and you can't go over 7.
Okay.
Because that's part, you get docked for not following the directions, so you have to have between 5 and 7 slides.
Okay.
And you have to use the do's and don'ts on the slides about how a PowerPoint presentation keeps your audience's attention, like we went over in the lecture.
Yeah.
So, if you have to condense your kindergarten style, that would probably be better.
Okay.
And just a general idea, so you don't, because if you were to make a PowerPoint of how to bake a whole pie and turn it into a movie, you could probably go into it for at least 30 minutes worth of pie instruction.
Okay.
Of course, my grandmother turned it into 6 weeks of pie instruction, but that's a whole other story.
So yeah, I just wanted to know that because that's the only thing that I have to do for your class and my other two coaches.
Right.
So I'll get that done here in a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like overthinking it.
There's been a little bit of overthinking in the class, so if you're going to do a complicated thing like making a pie, then I would make it kindergarten instructions.
I think I just gotta do something as simple as everyday life. I get it to do something every day and a half.
No, we did tell him to keep it clean, but if you wanted to make a PowerPoint of how to brush your teeth, put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, brush your teeth while singing a happy birthday song, simple stuff.
Okay.
And nothing that takes more than 6 steps and an ending slide. Or 5 steps and an ending slide if you're wanting to do the total of 7.
Okay.
It can be as simple as you want it to be, just as long as it meets the requirements.
Okay, so it'll be submitted sometime in between tonight and the wee hours of the morning.
Don't worry about it. You're going to be in plenty of time.
This week, that marketing class, oh my.
Wait till you get to your final class on that one. I think it's just a test, but I can't remember for sure.
Oh no, that marketing class is something else.
Of course it is. It's way in school.
And then like this class, this is like my play class. I love doing the work and stuff in this class because it's like fun work.
Good.
With the marketing class, all you do is research.
Well, next week you're going to have a fair amount of research to do because you have to do your PowerPoint on a graphic design movement or an influential designer.
But that's different. It's like a PowerPoint. You got your animation where you can make your words slide in, you can make your top slides like fade out. You can play with it. But with the marketing, it's just write a APA paper. Like, oh my God, I'm so sick of these APA papers.
Right, all right. Like we could have made the assignment and we won an APA paper on a graphic design movement or a influential designer that you would incorporate into a PowerPoint for the final.
Yeah. But see,
that we didn't. So.
But see, if you would have, it still would have been worth it because, okay, week 1, we did all of the research. Now, week 4, let's go and make a PowerPoint with everything that we researched.
Yeah. You're going to have a couple classes down the road that will let you do that.
But I really enjoyed this class. This game been too cool. Hello?
I'm here. I just got an email from one of your classmates wanting to know how to do. She missed the live session yesterday, so let me reply to her real quick.
I don't know if it's just it could be just on my end. I started watching the live session and then it just like went to where it was just trying to load again. That was earlier today and it's still doing it now. I don't know.
Did you download the instructor or did you download the link from the website?
No. I just went to the announcement to click on the video.
Okay, you might want to click on the link to the video that's there, and then go download it, because they're noticing that that is not working the way it's supposed to. And it was my backup to my backup, so apparently my backup to my backup failed, but the link was still working.
Okay. So I'll do that. Catch up on anything else. Cause I got to up to the assignment point, but I pretty much already knew how to work PowerPoint.
Well, let me get into the classroom real quick, and I will show you how to go do that. Just because everybody else might be wondering how they get to those. So here, I'm going to go log into Canvas, like I ever log out.
I know, because I don't ever log out.
My computer logs me out every once in a while, but that's about it. Okay, so in the announcements, we have the week 3 lecture. And this is what you're trying to watch?
Yeah, I clicked on the video and it just continues to load.
Yeah, it's having issues for some reason. But if I click on the link, it takes me here. And even this will start having issues, but if I click on this, then right click and save link as,
It'll download and then I can see it.
It'll download it, and it should take more than a couple of minutes for it. An average one's going to take probably 10-15 minutes for it to download for average speed.
Okay. I don't know if it's everybody's Safari browser or if it's just over here on my end, but you have to submit your assignments to Foxfire.
Yeah, Firefox is one of those things that requires, Canvas requires Firefox, so.
I mean, but at first I wasn't using nothing but the Safari browser, and then I don't know, I put Norton on here, and then I could do everything else. I could do my posts, I could do my daily checkpoints. I just can't submit my assignment, so I just go to Firefox and submit my assignment.
Yeah, it's because Firefox did, or Safari did an update, and it won't let you do it anymore.
Oh, so I need to just come in and get back with me with Firefox.
Yeah, because Canvas does not like Safari at all.
Oh, okay. So now that I know that, I'll just log it on with Firefox and save myself the trouble.
Yep. I save Safari for watching ridiculous anime and research. I use Chrome and Firefox for school.
Okay.
And I'm trying to upload the link so you guys can just download it from here, but hopefully this will, it usually takes a while for Canvas to process it, so.
You get the recording last week, I emailed to you.
I did, and I sent the links out. So several people have watched it from your link. I could not download it for anything, and I don't know what the cause of that was. But whoever asked for the recording did get a link to it, so. I don't know why. It probably had something to do with your Google settings, but Google can be really persnickety about sharing. Well, I'm going to stop my screen share so this thing will actually update the way it's supposed to. Okay. And we'll go back to my lovely PowerPoint that I've been so long in creating. We talked about the doc. We talked about system utilities. We did a disk repair, didn't we?
So listen, yeah, we did the disk repair. The keychain exit. like it fills in my first and last name. And
And it stores. It has
the password.
It has the ability to store the passwords if you allow it to.
Yeah, it does that. I don't have a problem with that, but like I don't know. I know a Mac and a PC is two different computers, but like on my PC, I could store everything, my address. Like when I'm filling out to pay bills or something, it stores everything for me. The address, the phone number. I don't have to constantly, repeatedly type it in.
That's also something that's in your or not your. It does work on a Mac, but it's also in your preferences on Firefox, Safari, and Chrome. Safari doesn't do it as well as Firefox and Chrome do.
Oh, okay.
Safari, yeah, Safari is not the brightest web browser on the planet.
Okay.
It has a tendency to some of the macros that we expect and come to love and enjoy on a PC don't work so well on Safari.
Yeah.
It works great on Firefox and Chrome.
Okay.
So we talked about the activity monitor, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? My PowerPoint there. We did this permission, and we talked about iCloud.
Yeah, we talked about iCloud. I believe the version state.
Okay. And we talked a little bit about Google Drive. Google Drive right now is allowing you to add up to 17 gigs worth of files to your drive, which can be either accessed through your computer or through the Google Drive on, I think it's drive.google.com. It is probably the best and cheapest way to go about using cloud storage.
Okay.
So once you set up that drive, it allows you to sync all of your files so they're up in the cloud and they're up in your or on your PC. So if we go and I share screen with you, I can show you how to set up some preferences on them.
Okay.
Because whatever you upload to your Google Drive does not have to necessarily be downloaded to your computer.
Okay.
So mine's kind of gray here, so I'm clicking on it. It says I have one unsyncable item. So I can view my one unsyncable item. And of course it would be something capped, so I have to retry it. And then normally you'll see the little animations going on. But I can open up the preferences in it.
Okay.
And I can tell it I want all the files, or I can tell it I only want some files that are on my computer. So I keep my pictures that I find from Wikicommons that are license free and eligible for use in artwork. I have them able to sync to my computer. I keep my iStock photos ability to sync. This is stuff for the school. This is stuff for Civil Air Patrol that I use on a regular basis, and this is a client's file that she has me update almost weekly. Really wish this client wasn't my sister so I could charge her more. I am highly underpaid for that one. And then you just apply the changes, and it either adds or removes files from your computer, but it keeps it up on the drive.
Okay.
And then it can tell you right here how much of your space you've used. storage, and I think for Google Drive, it's like, what did you say it was? Yeah, 100 gigabytes is $2 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
And compared to the terabyte, which is $10 a month, which is basically 100,000 gigs. So they're charging you a buck a gig here.
Right.
Or a buck per 100 gig here. That's what that is. My math sucks. Which is why I do not use math.
I don't like math either.
But it's not a bad price, and you can actually adjust your plan as you need it, where Dropbox wants you to pay a annual fee. Wants you to sign an annual contract. And personally, I may not need 100 gigs next month, but I might need it this month. It's just all kind of up to you and how you want to deal with your drive. Because if you have a Creative Cloud membership, you also have a certain amount of space that comes with it. And I can look at that and see. I get 20 gigs on my Google Drive account. But that's because I pay for a full version of it instead of the package that the school downloads. Make sense?
Yeah.
And I think you get some free space with it. I'm just not sure. I've got 12.6 megabytes and 20 gigs. I keep all my PDF files in here because it's so great. It allows me to access all my PDF files, like my insurance card, my information for CAP. It allows me to sync this all up to my phone and access it from there. So if I lose pieces of paper that I need for important events, I keep it stored up in here so that I don't lose it. But now the Progressive has come out with that nifty app that goes on my phone and tells me whether or not I paid my insurance. It automatically downloads the insurance card to my phone.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, especially since I can't keep track of the paper in my life. I can organize my computer like nobody's business, but when it comes to actual pieces of paper, it's not in a folder. It gets lost within minutes. Which is very scary.
It's a pain keeping it together.
Yes.
I'll keep it together.
So did we talk about Time Machine last week?
No, not that I can recall.
Okay. Well, Time Machine requires an external hard drive, and it's a part of your operating system with Mac. It's actually available here in the applications folder or under your system preferences. And since I have my system preferences open, I never close it because I always have my headphones I have to switch back and forth to. You click on the Time Machine, and you have to turn it on, and you have to select the disk. Well, I had a major issue the other day, and I was trying to put an operating system on an older MacBook Air that had been deleted. So I was restoring it from the very first backup I had done on this computer. So I was updating all the way back to Maverick. So I unplugged it and started trying to restore a second computer. I inadvertently deleted over 500 gigs of storage. 500 gigs of old files had been deleted from my backup hard drive. I am so hacked at myself. I cannot get them back. But that's why I have Google Drive, because the files that I really needed to save were already on it. And I also have the Microsoft 365, so it has a OneDrive, so I didn't lose all of my portfolio files. The only thing I did lose was a bunch of my past headers that I had created for my Facebook page and some of the fractal designs I had done.
You was gonna get them back from your Facebook page if you put them on there.
Yeah, and I just won't have the original Photoshop files
Right.
to adjust them for colors or whatever. But the JPEGs I have with my watermarks on them and everything, so that doesn't bother me. They're backed up somewhere, and I can always get back to them. I just won't have the originals anymore.
Okay.
Which is kind of a bummer, but it just means I have to go out and be more creative again and work with some of the toys I haven't played with in a while, so I can make some more to fill up that much more of my hard drive space. But you can program this in your options, tell it which one you want, and set it up so that it will delete old backups.
Okay.
And it keeps hourly backups for the past 24 hours, daily backups for the past month, and we've got weekly backups for all previous months. And the oldest backups are deleted when your disk becomes full. So luckily my hard drive was not full when I deleted it or tried to reinstall that operating system on the older Mac, because it wanted to restore all the files that were on this huge 1 terabyte hard drive and this 1 terabyte hard drive Mac to 129 gigabyte MacBook Air. So it wouldn't fit. So that very first backup that I had was just the operating system with a few of my files on it, a few of my programs on it. That file, it had no problem reinstalling it and restoring it. Anything else it wouldn't do. So it was a very valuable learning lesson, which has led me to believe I may be taking some Mac IT courses at the nearest Mac shop soon. Well, the nearest Mac shop I have is 150 miles away. The nearest Mac shop that offers the IT training courses is in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's a week-long course. So I would have to go down there, spend a week, take the class, and then, pay for the hotel room and all the travel. But I think in the long run, it would be worth it for not only myself, but for the students and the school for me to go actually do that, because we do not have an Apple certified IT person. So I'll get sent out to Apple. They have a special Apple 800 Apple Care number for students to call for their computers.
Yeah, I got it. I had the problem when I first got the computer. We had a white Ghostbusters sign on it. It acted like it would load up. It was on the load. And then it wouldn't load. And it just had the white Ghostbusters sign without the ghost. So I had to, they called the school to see what the school wanted to do, because the only thing that they could do was restore it back to the original factory setting. And I lost all of my software that the school had put on there.
Yeah.
So I had to let them do that and then come to the house the IT department at the school so they could send me the link to to download the Adobe. The first one is Adobe CSP. That and the Windows. So.
Oh, you mean the Microsoft Office suite?
Yeah, the Office.
Yeah. Those were some pretty hefty downloads.
So I got it downloaded and everything was operating. I gotta take it back up there, but I have to wait until I get my PC back out of the shop so I can still have a computer to do my work.
Yeah, and I don't know what class you have next month. They should be announcing those any day now.
Oh, I got an English class next month.
That shouldn't be too bad. The English classes I had usually let us pick our topic as long as we followed the directions within the assignment, and a lot of it was teaching APA, so.
And then, I don't know, I got Office for my PC, but I don't have the Adobe, so I'm gonna get a subscription to Adobe so I can have the Adobe Photoshop and all of that on my PC because I'm gonna need it, and my Mac will be in the shop. I know they told me for at least 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, but if you don't have a design class next month,
that would be the best time to do it.
Right, then you wouldn't need to worry about paying for a subscription. But you would have to, my recommendation would be to call Adobe if you really, really want one, and make sure you get the student teacher edition for the Adobe Creative Cloud. Because it's half the price.
Oh, okay.
You just have to be able to prove that you're a student, or in my case, an instructor.
I can prove to them that I'm a student.
They'll probably want your enrollment and stuff like that. It's nothing that you shouldn't already have a copy of.
I have it. I downloaded it out to my computer as I was signing it. So we did everything through email and telephone.
Yeah.
I have everything. I just don't want to part with my Mac. I'm so in love with this computer.
Well, that's good. You should be. It's your new best friend.
It is. I don't let nobody use this computer.
Yeah, I have passwords on everything so my family cannot access it.
Well, they know how my password is because it's the same thing for everything. But they don't mess with this computer because they don't want the consequences that's gonna come behind it.
Well, I'm loving being told by teenagers when I very first got my Mac because I hadn't had a Mac before. Never ever had a Mac of my own. It's always been a school Mac that I had to go to school to use. And back in 1993, it was a Macintosh Apple Macintosh, and it was an Apple IIe. Really horribly old computers with a little 5 or 6 inch screen that you had to use a magnifying glass to see, and it wasn't in color, and it took 9 days to do a gradient. So when this MacBook Pro came in my mail, and that nice FedEx man dropped it off, I told my family, "You touch it, I will chop off your fingers so you can never touch anything again."
And that's pretty much what I told them. So when my PC went into a shop, they were kind of like, most people, I'm like, y'all got a smart TV that ain't this in the minute. You got a PlayStation phone that keeps something in the minute. Everything you can do with my computer, everything that y'all would do with my computer, you could do with the TV or the PlayStation.
Right, and the school here issued the kids iPads.
Oh, that was good.
No, it wasn't. It was bad. It was just really bad. Because if anything happens to it, guess who they hold responsible for it? Yes. And we weren't offered the chance to say, no, we don't want them to bring it home. We want it to stay at school. No, we were just told, oh, you have to show up for this training class and the iPad goes home with you. But I don't want you to come home with me. I don't want that financial responsibility.
That's exactly what it is. That's why no one took this computer with me.
So, yeah, they kind of have driven us all in the van. Then they sent out a survey at the end of last month wanting to know how often our students were on their iPads, and I'm going, every day they're watching YouTube and I have no control over it. Make it stop. Yeah. And just stop it. Now I realize that when they graduate they have the opportunity to purchase the one that they've been using for the 6 years that they've been in school, from middle school to high school. What is a 6-year-old iPad going to do for them in the real world? When they go to college, they're going to need updated hardware. They're going to need an actual computer of some kind. So, and that's just my theory on it. But, I know that there are some programs within Pitt University that are getting ready to move over to tablets versus computers because that area of study is more conducive to actually studying on a tablet versus a computer. Don't worry, it won't happen to the graphic arts program.
I hope not.
Or the web development program, because you cannot do what we do with Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign on a tablet. It's just not possible.
I'm so in love with this Mac.
So Macs are here today.
It kind of like makes me want an iPad, but I'm just like, for what? When I have a Mac.
Well, I have an iPad, and I used it pretty consistently in the early days of school for downloading the textbooks to. Right then we could download them as a PDF file. And I could take my iPad with me, read my reading assignment, and not worry about it, carrying, 10, 15, 20 pounds of books with me everywhere I went.
Right.
So I could log in if I had internet access and do my daily checkpoints from my iPad versus trying to log in and do it from the computer if I wasn't at home. So that made it a little easier in some respects. But now I read fiction on it and watch movies.
So that's like Monday, the live lecture. I came in and then like I was gone. I was sitting in my car at the time, waiting on my husband, and my little one started acting up, and I just couldn't take it no more.
Yeah, I understand. But, now with the iPad, I do keep a digital copy of my portfolio on it. So if I go to an interview or I'm meeting with a client, I have the digital copy of my portfolio with me.
I maybe need to find somewhere to invest in one of those.
In all honesty, check eBay first.
eBay?
Yeah, check eBay. Okay. There's almost 40 or 50 of them listed a day. Okay. Don't go buy a new one unless you actually have the funds in your hand to go purchase it.
I don't.
Yeah, the only reason I got mine is because I was working at Walmart and had a 20% discount through for Christmas that year on one piece of equipment.
And that's what I was about to.
Yeah. One year we got a Wii. The next year they gave us 10% discount on, like, as an associate, you got 10% discount on all regular merchandise. But the year they started giving us 10% discount on groceries from middle of November to the first part of January, I was thrilled. My grocery bill got cut in half. That was like the best Christmas present to me, was cheap groceries.
I know, because my groceries were cheap.
Okay, so last time, week 2, we went over QuickTime. You think maybe we ought to demonstrate QuickTime again for everybody since I'm recording this?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Right, well there. that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to QuickTime in our applications folder.
Not sharing your screen with me.
Oh yeah, I got to share the screen. And here all this time I thought I was sharing my screen. I told my kids today if they wanted me to remember something, they needed to write it down on paper because my brain is literally a sieve. They laughed at me.
Mine was like that.
Okay, so to get to QuickTime, it's right here in our applications folder. We click on it and there it is. It's over here. On the wrong screen. So I want to create a new screen recording. So I click over here. And it's going to think about it. And it's going to bring up the dialog box. And this dialog box is going to ask me where do I want my microphone to come from. I can do this with no sound. I can do it with a built-in microphone. I have a headset. The Zoom audio device is only in Zoom when I want to allow people to hear my screen. So it has nothing to do with QuickTime. So I'm just going to use my headset. And you'll also notice that I have it to show my mouse clicks in a recording. And that's because on the tutorials I do, I actually want people to be able to see where I'm clicking. So I'm going to hit the record button. And it's going to think about it. There we go. And now I have to click to record the whole screen. And then I have this little stop button up here. You're seeing this, aren't you, Latanya?
Yes.
Okay. So I can check on my, it's just not working. I can go over here and I'm just going to do a couple of mouse clicks so that when we see it in the recording, we can stop. Is it going to stop? Is it going to argue with me today? There we go. So there's my screen recording. And if I are to hit instead of order, there goes that sieve brain again. So now it's just going through, and when I start clicking in places, you'll start seeing the circles. I'm arguing with myself in my recording.
I always with my
I figure it's okay to argue with yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself. But if you start losing the argument with yourself, it's time to seek professional help.
yeah.
So once this is all done, we can go to File, and we can go to Save, and tell it where we want it to save. We can name it. We're going to just name this one Test, and it's going to save it automatically to our Movies file. I don't really want to put it in my Movies file, so I'm just going to put it on my desktop, because I may or may not keep this one, and I want to be able to delete it easily. And it will probably take, if I'm doing a 2-hour lecture, it's going to take a long time to process. But being able to record your own lectures, be able to make your own tutorials, and there's going to be occasions in the future students are going to have to be making a demonstration. I think you have one coming up in DES 104 where you have to do a quick tutorial on any tool you've learned about in Photoshop. So now you have the tools to actually do it without having to go to an outside website. Yeah, you are. Because I think one instructor likes you to use, it's called Gene. And it is a download software, kind of like,
It records too.
it records too, but you have to upload it to a server, and it only allows you to do 5 minutes. And it's not as friendly to use. Right, and you can't edit it. But I can go into, say, iMovie, which I promised you we would do this week. Wait for it to open, and then I can import that test video, and if it's too long or I've done too many mouse clicks or something, I can actually edit that. So I can cut it down, and I really can't edit my owns out as much as I would love to. I have my Confident Toastmasters Award, and I can't stop using the word lately. But Gene does work better with, yeah, there's the again. It works better with a PC than it does with Mac operating systems. And when we're using a Mac and they tell us to go use Gene, it doesn't really like it. So as soon as iMovie stops thinking, go ahead and close down Gene. It's just a silly program. Okay, there's my iMovie. Now I can go over here and I can we're gonna do this. Spinning wheel of death is taking over. These I can do things. Okay, there we go. Now I can come up here and I can go to File, and I want to create a new movie. And if I'm smart, I usually tell it no theme. And if I tell it no theme, I'm pretty much clear on exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to import the test video. And I know it's on my desktop. And it's going to be alphabetized. I'm going to import the selected. And there's my test video. So I drag it down here, theoretically. Okay, we'll double click on it. Why is it not working? It thinks it's already a project, so let's try this new movie again. when they update things and don't tell me what they updated. I know that I can come up here and I can take photographs. We'll take a nice, lovely photograph of my steam pot dinner at Joe's Crab Shack when I went to visit my brother. And I can add pictures of me and my sister. And then I can go to iTunes. And I can pick songs that are available for use, and I can drag them down here. And then when I hit the share button here, I can send it to Facebook, email, or just a file. And I can see how it transitions. So when I hit next, I get the little spinning wheel again. And I'm going to save it as a test. I'm in the test. And then this little circle appears. Looks like a pie, and it tells you your progress with the whole export of your project. So if you had to do a picture album and you wanted to narrate it, this is a really good, easy way to do it. But you can also do the same thing in PowerPoint. PowerPoint requires a little bit more practice with learning how to use the timings. But both of them are good programs to learn. Make sense? Okay. And now it's telling me that it's done. So I can go over here to my desktop, hit test 2. I'm hearing Bill Engvall in the background, so I want to double click it. So for a 6-second movie, that's all it takes. No. Now I can select on my pictures, and this is the cool part. I can drag them out so that they're longer and make it match. I can make the whole thing match. This is a 6-minute and 51-second audio clip. So I can drag. Can't really drag it out anymore, but I can drag out my pictures to match my video, to match my audio. And that's how I can add things in and make pictures fit the audio. And I can have, if I hit the space button, I can see where it changes and how it tests. So it's actually a very useful tool, if not rather aggravating on some occasions. It kind of depends on what you want to do with it. I think I used something similar to make a memorial video for my husband's mother when she passed away. Picked out music that was her favorite, added it to a movie, added pictures of her life and her family and the grandkids with her so that they had something to discuss about her and share memories. Yeah, since we didn't have a memorial service for her, it was more like a going away party for her because she was in her 90s. So it was a chance for the great grandkids to get together and hear about her when she was a young woman versus the grandma they knew. So it was a party to celebrate her life, not necessarily a crying, wailing, and mourning. It was celebrating her life. That's what we called it. It was her life celebration, not her funeral. Which makes some of the great grandkids feel a little better about losing great grandma. So. It does have its uses. So. Is there any questions or anything you've come up with this week that you needed answers to or help with? Okay. Yeah, you pretty much got creative freedom on that one, other than making sure. I believe the instructions in the lecture were don't make the animations and transitions to the point where they make your instructors nauseated, because we will deduct points for that. We had one guy that really, really wanted